So here we go. Let's go ahead. I have to talk quietly because there are other people working in the room. So let's go ahead and factor out this, do the review, Chapter 9 review. Let's see how far we can get. Problem A, x squared plus 2x minus 3 divided by x plus 2 times x squared plus 2x divided by x squared minus 2. I'm multiplying, so I want to get factors so I can cancel out. X squared plus 2x minus 3 will factor into x plus 3 times x minus 1 times x squared plus 2x will factor into x times x plus 2 divide by, this is an x plus 2. X squared minus 1 is x plus 1 times x minus 1. Let's go ahead and pull up my red marker, and I'm going to cancel out x minus 1, x minus 1, x plus 2, x plus 2. So it leaves me x times x plus 3 divided by x plus 1. That's my final answer. Again, if you need to turn up your volume so you can hear me, go ahead and do so. Let's do letter B. Give myself a little space there. So here we go, letter B. I'm just multiplying. There's no addition and subtraction, so there's not any factoring. So what I said to do always was to put the numbers together, put the x's together. So that takes care of the 48, the x squared, the 5, the 36, this x. Put my y's together, y times y squared, and put my z's together, z squared over z times z. So there's my y and my y squared, my z squared, and my z. So let's reduce 36 and 48. 12 would go into 48 4 times. 12 goes into 36 3 times. So this is going to be 20 over 3. X squared divided by x gives me an x in the numerator. Y times y squared is a y cubed in the denominator. And so my z's actually cancel. So that should be my answer. Oops. All right, let's go ahead and do letter C. Letter C, I'm no longer multiplying. I'm now adding. So to add, I have to get a common denominator. And so I need to double check what that common denominator is. In my first fraction, 2x is my denominator. My second fraction, I can factor as 2x times x plus 3. So my LCD is going to be 2x times x plus 3. So my first fraction is 3 over 2x. And that needs to be multiplied by my LCD of, well, what's missing? It's missing an x plus 3 over x plus 3. Then I'm going to have the plus. Over here, I already have the 2x times the x plus 3. So I don't have to multiply by anything. I don't want to do any canceling. I want to distribute this 3 in. And so my numerator is going to be 3x plus 9 plus x over 2x times x plus 3. Combine like terms. It's 4x plus 9 over 2x times x plus 3. Remember, this 4x is part of a term. This 2x is a factor. They cannot cancel. this should be my answer. All right, let's go ahead and do D, E, and F. So on letter D, I want to look at this, and again, my goal isn't to get a common denominator. In the first A and B, I just wanted to reduce, so I was not getting a common denominator. Letter C, I did get a common denominator, and I kept my common denominator. Letter D, E, and F, I want to find a common denominator, a least common denominator, but I don't want to keep it. I want to use it to cancel out all the denominators. So let's go ahead and figure out that my LCD is going to be, for this term, an x, is that factor. And for this term, my factor for my LCD is going to be 2x plus 1. All right, so here we go. For the first one, I'm going to multiply my LCD, x, times 2x plus 1, times my numerator, 1 over x, plus 1 over 2x plus 1, divide by 4x over 2x plus 1. We continue. Remember, this is two terms, so I need to make sure I distribute into this. And I'm going to go ahead and have x times 2x plus 1 times my 1 over x. Remember, I can write this over 1 if that makes it easier. Plus, that's this plus sign here, x times 2x plus 1. Again, you can write it over 1 if it makes it easier, times 1 over 2x plus 1. Again, that's this term over here. All of this is divided by x times 2x plus 1. Write it over 1 if it makes it easier, times 4x over 2x plus 1. That's this denominator here. That being said, in this term, these are factors, so my x's cancel, which leaves me 2x plus 1 times 1 over 1. So that's going to be 2x plus 1. Here, the 2x plus 1's cancel, leaving x times 1 over 1, which is plus x. Here, the 2x plus 1's cancel, leaving x times 4x over 1, which is 4x squared. And this simplifies to 3x plus 1 over 4x squared. So this is my final answer, 3x plus 1 over 4x squared. My common denominator that I got up here, x times 2x plus 1, was used to cancel out all these denominators, not keep a common denominator. Make sure you understand the difference of when I use the common denominators to keep a denominator and when I use them to do something else. I definitely don't have room for E here, so I'm going to go ahead and take a quick picture, and I'll be right back. So this is letter E. I moved this down to an area so I had a little more room. I am solving for x because it's an equation. I want to solve for x. My goal here is to cancel out all my denominators. So the first thing I need to do is factor x squared minus 1 to x plus 1 times x minus 1. That's factored. This here, x minus 1, is factored. So my LCD is x plus 1 times x minus 1. Well, let's go to the first term. I have 5x that I'm going to multiply by x plus 1 times x minus 1. That is, of course, over x minus 1 minus 2 times my LCD of x plus 1, x minus 1. The minus 2 doesn't have a denominator, so I don't put anything underneath. So this is equal to 14 times x plus 1 over x minus 1 divide by x plus 1 times x minus 1. Why? Because that's already what my denominator is. So this is my denominator, x plus 1, x minus 1. So these x plus 1's cancel. These x minus 1's cancel. Here, this x minus 1 cancels. So I end up with 5x times x plus 1 minus 2 times, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out. X squared minus 1 is equal to 14. Okay. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to distribute this. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 1 is plus 5x. Distribute this negative 2 minus 2x squared. Negative 2 times 1 is plus 2 is equal to 14. Combine like terms. 5x squared minus 2x squared is 3x squared plus 5x plus 2, but I'm going to subtract this 14. So negative 14 plus 2 is negative 12. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and factor this. What multiplies to be negative 36 and adds to be 5? I am coming up with, is that 9 and 4? 9 and negative 4. So then this is 3x over 9. And then this is going to be 3x over negative 4. So I'm going to have x plus 3 times 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. This term will give me x equals negative 3. Here you're going to add 4 and divide by 3, so x is equal to 4/3. Go back to my original problem. Neither of these are going to give me 0 in the denominator, so both of these should be good answers. So letter F, this is a problem that is set up that if you really wanted to, you could cross multiply. I'm not going to. I'm going to do it in the same format. My LCD is 2x plus 3 times x minus 5. That gives me this denominator and this denominator. So I have to multiply my entire equation by my LCD of 2x plus 3 times x minus 5. When I distribute these over, the 2x plus 3's are going to cancel. So showing every step, I get 2 times 2x plus 3 times x minus 5 over 2x plus 3 is equal to 2 times 2x plus 3 times x minus 5 over x minus 5. Get my red marker. My 2x plus 3's cancel. My x minus 5's cancel. Distribute through here. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times minus 5 is minus 10 equals 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 3 is 6. Solve for x, subtract the 2x, and I'm going to get 2x. Subtract 6, I'm going to get negative 16 divided by 2. X is equal to negative 8. If I plug that into either of these two equations, I am not going to get 0 in the denominator, so this should be a good answer. So that's course pack page 907. Let's go ahead to page 908. 908, the first 8 problems are factoring problems. So let's go ahead and factor. First of all, this is California method. 3 times 15 is 45. What multiplies to be 45 and adds to be 14? The numbers I come up with are 9 times 5 is 45. So then I have to write, and that adds to be 14. They're both positive, so that works. So this is 3x over 9. This is 3x over 5. This reduces to x plus 3, and this stays as 3x plus 5. That's number 1. Number 2, my greatest common factor first is 5x, which leaves me with x squared minus 7x minus 8. So then here I'm going to use basic factoring and say that this is x minus 8, because that times x plus 1. Negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. So that is my factor. Number 3, my greatest common factor of 8x cubed minus 36x squared minus 20x is going to be 4x. That is going to leave me a 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. So I need to decide what multiplies to be negative 10 and adds to be negative 9. I'm getting negative 10 and 1. So my factors then, I'm going to go ahead, let's use this space right here. This is going to be 2x over negative 10 and 2x over 1. This 2x over negative 10 is going to reduce to x minus 5. 2x over 1 is just 2x plus 1. If I FOIL out, I get 2x squared plus 1 minus 10x is minus 9x minus 5. This is factored. Number 4, my greatest common factor of 25x squared plus 10x cubed plus x squared is an x squared. That's going to leave 25x squared plus 10x plus 1. Lots of different ways of doing this, but I'm going to recognize that 25x squared is a perfect square. What is it, you say? Well, that's 5x. 1 is a perfect square. What do you say? That's going to be 1. If I multiply 5x by n1 and double it, I get 10x. So this is my answer. Let's continue to number 5. My greatest common factor of 2x to the fourth plus 18x cubed plus 40x squared is going to be 2x squared. That's going to leave me with x squared plus 9x plus 20. I want to think about what will multiply to be 20 and add to be 9. With that, I get 5 and 4, and that's my factors. Number 6, my greatest common factor of 2x cubed minus 16x squared plus 30x is 2x. That leaves me with x squared minus 8x plus 15. Again, what multiplies to be 15 and adds to be negative 8? That's going to be x minus 5 and x minus 3. Number 7, these are 4 terms, so I immediately need to go to factor by grouping. My greatest common factor is of 10x cubed minus 45x squared is going to be 5x squared. I'm going to pause. So I take in a 5x squared. That's going to leave x minus 9. Over here, I'm going to take out I believe 16, which is going to leave x. I'm going to start number 7 from scratch. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead and factor out a 5x squared. That's going to leave 2x minus 9. Here, I'm going to factor out an 8, and that's going to leave 2x minus 9. Those 2x minus 9s have to be identical so that I can factor that out and get 5x squared plus 8 times 2x minus 9. That's factor by grouping. Let's do it one more time. Here, at a 32x cubed plus 80x squared, I think I can take out a 16, which, excuse me, I need to take out not a 16, but a 16x squared, which is going to leave a 2x plus, this is going to be 5. Here, I'm going to factor out a negative 1, which is going to leave 2x plus 5. Then I'm going to have 16x squared minus 1 times 2x plus 5. But the 16x minus 1 is factorable. This is going to be 4x plus 1 times 4x minus 1 times 2x plus 5. I'm going to call that the end of this particular video. I'm going to do the rest on a separate video. I will talk to you later.